got on me about this. I used to be play monitor.
Yeah.
I still mad about you blow the whistle. You stop the play. 16,000 people are quiet now. F up something. And here you come because you're not in position to make the right call. You screw it up. Now you got 16,000 people yelling at all three of us.
This podcast is intended solely for educational and discussion purposes. The content shared within this program is not meant to embarrass, criticize, or humiliate any official, coach, team, conference, or fan. Our goal is to educate, inform, and promote a deeper understanding of the art and the profession of officiating, providing insight that benefits all who love and support the game. Well, welcome everybody to another episode of The Play is the Play. I am Violet Palmer, and I am so excited. You guys have no idea who I have with me today. This is legendary for me. Personally, one of my mentors that helped me when I was a young high school referee. And what's so unique about this story, Bobby Mozee saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself as a high school referee. And I'm so excited to have him as a guest. He has been around me and my officiating career since I started. You know, not only was he my mentor when I was a high school referee, but I was very, very fortunate when I had my observer program. Bobby Mozee was an observer for me in all my leagues. His knowledge is just invaluable. You know, he's just been around this game for so long. He's helped so many young referees in the Los Angeles area. I just want to say welcome, Mr. Mozee. What a pleasure it is to have you join me today.
Well, the pleasure's all mine, Bob. Believe me. Boy, you got me kind of choked up.
Oh, well, you know what? That means I did good. That means I did what I was supposed to do. I appreciate that.
Very good. Very nice job. Good to see you, baby.
You know what? Always good to see you. So how about let's tell all our viewers a little bit about you, a little bit about your background. Now, you can't take my whole show because you start talking about yourself, you take up my whole program. But just a little bit about you and how, you know, what you used to do and kind of what you're doing now, I guess.
Well, you know, there was a young man, I was playing softball at Manchester Play on Sunday. A young man by the name of Booker Turner.
The late great.
Yes, came to me and said, you need to stop doing this. You need to join Parks and Rec and learn how to umpire and learn how.
Wow.
Name my main mentor, him and a guy named Lo.
Both of those were mine too. I'm with you. Yeah.
Yes, Lou Clark is the guy that taught me how to use.
And he did it very well. Very well.
Yeah, so that a lot of times that's what I have to use profanity to deal with high school officials, what they can.
Right.
Dealing with college officials is completely different. But Violet, let's get back to you, dear. As I said, I saw you, and I kept asking people, who the hell is? Told me your name, and the name. And then something told me, it said, you need to put this lady in your city finals because she's not going to be around. Also, during that camp, Violet, you had your game. That's what amazed me. I had to go to you, and I said, why are you? And you told me something that I haven't heard from another official in life. See, I am here to get, and that impressed the shit out of me.
No, that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah, that impressed me. And I knew then, I said, she's not going to be in high school basketball very long. I use her. And boy, Violet, when I did that, no, I got heat from God knows, I don't even know where the heat coming from.
But came from everywhere, huh? Yeah. Yes. All the guys were upset. I remember you told me. Now, mind you, what's so funny, Bobby? I had no idea because I was young, I just started, and I really loved I loved officiating, and it started really early for me, and probably unlike a lot of referees, I did know as soon as I got I went to my first meeting, I never forget, and I got my uniform from Paul Suzuki, and you know what, Bobby? I went to Chambers and got my shoes shined. I did everything you and Booker and Low Clark told me what to do. I didn't question it. I never asked why. I just did it. But I knew that you guys were telling me stuff that would make me look good, that would help my presence, that would help anything that had to do with officiating. So I didn't know that everybody was up in arms. You said, hey, you know what? You had a good season. The championship are here, and I'm putting you in the game. And I said, okay, but not unbeknownst to me, I didn't realize that you were taking so much heat because I was so inexperienced. But something you saw, and I have to thank you because you saw it so early in my career, and you were dead on. I think I end up really I was still a member of our LA unit, but I literally was only a working member for about 3 years. It was that long because you put me in my first championship, and then the second year I did a city championship. I think that second year I did a city championship and a CIF championship, and then I went through college camps and I got hired, and then my college schedule just kind of like took over. So I really didn't have any more. I think I did a little bit for you for high school, but mostly my schedule was all college because I just took off. But I have to say, Bobby, without just the help and the support and the mentoring that you, Low Clark, Booker Turner, PK Kennedy, these are the old schools. People don't know. But what's crazy? These are legends among Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys are just the best of the best. And to be even put in a category with these men means a lot to me because I've watched those referees for years in my career. I moved on from high school and went to college and then end up going to the NBA. But how about this? I'm not sure if any of that would have happened to me if it wasn't for you.
Wow. Bonnie, that is something to say.
Yeah, no, seriously, because the vision, the opportunity, when we talk about being afraid to do something, you have showed me even as a coordinator myself because I am someone who really pushes young officials, but I'm not afraid to do it because you did it for me. As a supervisor, you were not afraid to take a chance on me because it could have went the other direction. You never know. You could, at the rate they were coming at you, it's a strong possibility.
Yeah. But while to hear,
Hmm.
but I said, I don't really care because I'm doing the right thing. And
Wow.
the finals are you put your best, not your second best, your best people on, and that was you. My
Wow.
only, I just wish that I could have,
Oh, now you see, now you really don't want to live. You were really trying to create because
you know,
right. Yeah. Yeah. See, you were so ahead of your time. Here's what's interesting for for you to even think that, Bobby, you were so far ahead of where people are even in today's officiating because literally you were so far ahead. The NBA hadn't reached out, men's college hadn't reached out, and you're speaking of high school to say, you know what? She could have did a high school final with no issue. Yeah, yeah. And it's funny that you say that, Bobby, because that was back in the day when the LA unit and just the games around the inner city, all the different high schools, it was tough to referee. These kids could play. Crenshaw was real. That was during that time where they were making that run where year after year after year for the men's program, the women's program, they were top. in the country. And just being able to get that experience, and I can honestly say that I think for me, working at the how about this, the old sports arena? The old sports arena is not even in existence anymore.
Right. Right.
I think it's
Yes.
now a soccer. It's the new soccer arena for the
Or something.
Galaxy.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Violet, I can picture that basketball work. I can still,
Yeah.
I can still picture that game because I look, we did it. We did it. She didn't let down, and I didn't think she was.
No,
That's
no,
I yeah,
no,
yeah.
that wasn't gonna happen.
One of my things was when I was coming up, Booker Turner and them told me that your back in those days your mechanics you had to be spot on, and that's what I truly believe. Mechanics, because without your mechanics to communicate to other people and being in position, you are always, for some reason, in the right damn position to make the right call. That's what I
Wow.
was.
And you know what? What's interesting that you say that because I remember you telling me about my signals, and I remember you had to tell me at one point because I was so, I mean, I would chop. I was serious, and I remember you said, "Violet, you're gonna blow your elbow. I want you to not so hard." Because literally, I think for me, Bobby, I took everything you said literal. I just said, whatever he tells me, I'm going to do. You told me to study the court coverage. I'm going to study it. But I think personally, my advantage with everything all the nuggets that you gave me as a mentor and as a supervisor, I think me being a basketball player, me playing high school, collegiate basketball, I took all those little things as a basketball player and I put them into officiating. And I think that was another nugget to help my growth. Because like when you said, work on your mechanics. Bobby, I used to be in the mirror brushing my teeth, doing signals. I would literally every every time I had a chance to look at myself, I would practice. And I even to this day, when I'm teaching officials, I say those same things that you gave me when I was a high school referee. You have to have good signals. You have to work on your positioning. You have to get your eyes exactly, where they need to be to see the
Right.
play from the beginning. All those little bitty things those nuggets that you gave me as a high school referee has followed me through every single stage of my career. They have followed me. And nothing has changed to this day. And even with me teaching, with me being a coordinator, with me running my own referee school, to this day, I still give all my referees those same nuggets because it doesn't change. Time keeps going, but when you really, really think about it, officiating hasn't changed.
No, no, right?
Same basketball game. Officials, we still gonna have the same people that don't like us. We're gonna still have the same people that, yelling at us and doing whatever. But the key component, and one thing I've learned through all my mentors, with you being the first mentor that I had, was I just listened. I didn't question what you gave me. I didn't ask you why. I just did it. And I think that's something that I found in myself that really, really propelled my career because I didn't question.
Yes, yes. You were a lot different than most school officials back in those days. Because a
You
lot of
think
high
so?
school officials wanted to question everything. Why? 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 And I used to tell them nowadays, uh, if you were on your job, on a regular job, and your boss told
Right.
no, you wouldn't question your boss. So why
Hmm.
are you questioning me? All I'm
Hmm.
trying to do is do the correct thing.
Correct.
And what's nothing? Hey, but and like I said, it's people like you, Violet, that
Wow. Well, you did it. How many years were you our signer for high school? Give me a guesstimate. You don't even have to be exact.
I would say, man,
Wow. Well, see, because again, you were the only assigner that I had. I didn't have anyone different other than you. You were, from the time I got into my high school association, you did it You're the only one that I know. And you, one thing that I can say for you, you've seen some really, really good officials come through our LA unit. Very good. Pro, we just have a large number of really, really good officials working college, working high school. And to me, it really doesn't matter. It's about an official that just loves the game. And it doesn't matter what level you go out and work. And I say this to this day too. I go, look, I tell people at camp, I said, not everyone is going to be a pro referee. Not everyone's going to be a college referee. But if you're going to be a high school referee, and I learned this from you, if you're going to be one, how about be the best? Give these kids 100% because they deserve that. This is big for these kids. And for us, we can't go out, walking on the floor, not acting like we want to be there. This is these kids' championship because for some of them, they may not get to college.
That's right.
And I think one thing that I can say with our LA unit, we always had good teachers. We had instructors that were honest, instructors that would give you that honest feedback. And I have to attribute that from you being the leader of our organization at the time, that early vision. You saw something and it baffles me how you could just see it instantly. You didn't hesitate at any point to say, you know what, kid, I want you to go out, I want you to be yourself, go referee the game, and let the chips fall where they may. But you had no doubt for me.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. None whatsoever, Bobby. There's so many things I could say about it, but I don't.
We got a little bit. You're all right. We got time. Go for it.
Yeah, but seeing you on the floor kind of reminded me of me growing up. Cause
Wow.
yeah, I used to have a regular job and a regular job, and
Huh?
I used to walk down the streets and people thought I was crazy because I would have do my mechanics when I was walking down the street. I had my arm up and block charge and all that madness, and people were looking at me and said, "That man's crazy." But I enjoyed the feeling so much that it may have caused me a couple of divorces.
Uh-oh. You know what? It can. You know what's funny, Bobby? I tell people that. I say you have to have, I've had a couple of referees come on and we have that discussion of work-life balance because officiating can take so much of your life that you forget about the significant other, about the wife or the children or whatever, because we get so tunnel vision because we love it so much, but it can't be everything. You got to be able to compartmentalize and separate everything that we do. So you saying that in a kind of a funny way, but it's really the truth.
It's for real.
Yeah.
Yes, it's for real. Yeah. I used to always tell officials, listen now, basketball, you better have, if you're married, you have an understanding spouse
Mm.
because you're going to be gone quite a be 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mm-hmm.
going to have an understanding spouse. If not, it problems in your life. And you listen.
Yes. I didn't question one thing you had to say. Never, because I just didn't feel like you would steer me wrong. Because I knew, you know how when you feel like and someone has your best interests at heart. And for you to just take a chance on me, I look back on it, Bobby, and that's why I never forget when I called you when I had my observer program. And I'm hoping maybe I can get my observer program back. Because again, having you be a part of that program was so valuable to me because when you were living here in LA, just your honesty, just you've seen so many different aspects of officiating in basketball to where those nuggets, I wanted you to share those nuggets with my officials because
Yes.
no different than how I learned so much from you. I never forget and you're gonna laugh at this. You were at Cerritos College working a junior college game, and I went to the game. And I don't know if it was a doubleheader. It might have been a doubleheader, but I can't remember. But I remember I was so excited that when I came out of the locker room, the men's game had started and you were working. How about this? You were working. And I don't even know if I ever told you this. And I watched the game. And you know what I really learned from that game, Bobby, is that you knew how to manage coaches, just your personality, You didn't take no mess. But even with not taking no mess, you were such a good listener. You didn't have a problem lending an ear. You let them vent, you heard them, and then you would respond. You gave them what you had to give them, and they would just nod their head and walk away. And I said, wow. And then the other thing I noticed that when the intensity started to go up in the game, you went up with that intensity. And I don't even think I've ever told you this before because I was a young official. I just finished working. And you know how you have a doubleheader and the men start playing? And I just watched. I said, wow, this is an opportunity for me to watch my mentor work. And when I watched you, I said, wow, you were just masterful in how you managed the coaches, how you communicated with players, you know, and how you knew how to bring the game back, with your partner. And it didn't seem like any part of this game was going to be out of control. Everything was just going to fall into place. You wasn't rattled, you were calm, but you always just had that funny, kind of feisty personality. But people knew though, this is interesting. Coaches, players, they knew when you said stop, it was over. They didn't have nothing else to say to you. And I don't
Yeah.
know if that was your reputation. I have no idea, but I never ever forget. I said, man, I want to be like him. I want to be that good guy that can just communicate with a coach and the coach goes, okay, all right. They just would nod their head, go back and sit down on their bench and keep coaching their kids. They didn't bother you no more. But it could have been experience. It could have been, you were a veteran referee and you've been around for a long time. But one thing that I know for a fact, and I even gotten this from my referees and talking to you, your honesty when it comes to telling the truth, telling referees really what you think, you didn't care. You were honest with all of us. It didn't matter if you're the top referee or the bottom referee. You don't care. Here's how it is. Here's what I got for you. You could either take it or you cannot take it. It's up to you. But I'm just giving you from experience. Here we are. And that's one thing that you have always done.
Yeah. I love the game, but I really love basketball officiating. I even love baseball umpiring. I
Yes,
also,
I did
and
too.
I'm proud to say that I had the chance to work in both of the stadiums in California, in
Wow.
Dodger Stadium and Angel Stadium. Yes,
Really?
yeah, two or three different times, and I'm proud of that part. But like I said before, Violet, I really love it. I cuss out on the TV sometimes.
You do.
Yes, and I wonder. I said, if you hustle, if you get to where you're supposed to be, you're not
Right,
gonna make a bad call.
right, right.
That's what I've all told officials: hustle, get to where you're supposed to be a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Learn that.
Yeah.
Don't
If you don't
be a
see it, you can't mess with it.
hero.
Right.
We don't need heroes. We need you to go out and work your game, and your butt off the court, and go home.
There you go. Right. Let chips where they fall. Let them go. You're right about that.
Yeah, be fair, be honest. I hustle for all the coaches. I let the coaches, but even talk to some players.
Yeah.
And
What?
there's some, I say, hey, coach, if you can't handle that player, I can know how to do with him.
There you
You know,
go.
hey, and all the coaches liked me because they knew they were going to get a fair game. I didn't give a shit loss. I didn't care.
Right. Right.
You know, I was told by Booker Turner, listen, but get to college basketball. All of these coaches and his staff is on the line.
Yeah.
They have to win. They have to fill up those arenas. And
Mm.
it's up. Why do you think they're yelling at us? Because you're screwing up the game. You're screwing up their job. You've got to work. You've got to bust your butt to get where you to make the correct call.
Get
And
out
on
of
top
here.
of it, learn how to talk to people.
Mm.
Because we with that black and white shirt on, and we're
Hmm.
not God,
Right.
are not God, and we miss
See?
calls. We miss calls. And I used to tell coach, hey coach,
Oh, Bob, I'm trying my best right to this day. You know what's so funny that you say that? I am trying to teach that to my staff right to this day because that is such a valuable component to us because what most of us think of it as weakness, but it's really not weakness. It's showing them that we're human. When a coach knows or feels like you're a human, they look at you differently. They're not looking at you as being arrogant and unapproachable and not humble. And all you're saying is, you know what? Be humble, be approachable, be a good listener. And being able to be vulnerable is actually a good attribute for a referee. That's not a bad
Yeah.
attribute. That's a good attribute to be able to say and admit it. And look, how about this? All these years that you and I have done this, and we're still saying the same thing that you said to me when I first started. Ain't nothing changed because the game really doesn't change.
Nothing. Nothing. The game of basketball itself has changed, but refereeing the game has not changed. Changed.
I agree. I
You
agree.
know,
Yeah.
it's like I've told people, as a referee, you've got to hustle, you've got to know the rules, you've got to be in shape, and you've
Mm.
got to be a great communicator.
Wow. Well, how about this? I can have you come talk to my staff tomorrow because no, literally, this is what's so crazy, Bobby, is that for me, you've instilled that in me as one of my mentors that I've had from the beginning of my career. Bobby, I have been preaching since I've been a coordinator. Can you believe I've been a coordinator for 15 years now? How about that?
Like,
Is that crazy?
about
That's
yes,
crazy.
yeah. I've got some pictures here of the old Pac-12 officials,
Yeah,
and I keep them. I keep them because they bring back some fond memories.
I bet they
Some
do.
and I remember Acosta.
Huh?
That name rang a bell in my head, and I told Nate, I said, Nate, why does that name ring a bell in my head?
Right, right.
And he said he worked for you.
There it is. Because you don't forget referees. That's one thing about you. What's funny, you can forget a lot of things, but when you meet someone, when it comes to a referee, you know them. And even when you were observing, I would have my staff, they would call me afterwards and they said, oh man, Bobby came in the locker room and man, we had so much fun. They would love when you came in the locker room because you know how you are. You're just down to earth and you tell it like it is. You give them a few words. Now, mind you, something, you can have them words for them, but you're always been personable. You always been honest and just your knowledge because you have been doing this for such a long time. Those nuggets, you always had nuggets. And I even told you, I said, Bobby, I don't care what I do. As long as you are capable, as long as you want to, you will always be a part of anything that I do in officiating. And I don't care what it is. No different than like even now, I don't have my observer program. I'm trying to get it back. They took away my game grading. They took that
Yeah.
away a little bit because I had you do that too. So now I'm trying this podcast stuff. But what the great thing is about what I'm doing now is that it's all about education. It's all about information. It's all about, just showing the world that there's different aspects to officiating that you can learn. You can learn in a lot of different ways, and people learn
Yeah.
differently. So, if this is a way that we can give some nuggets to some less experienced officials or even veteran officials, we'll go for it. Why not?
All, all officials need all the help they can get.
Yes.
They need all the information we can get. Matter of fact, I wish to God that we had tapes like they have now, where I could have done my mistakes. And I know I made mistakes. The hell, I had enough coaches yelling at me, so mistakes. Yeah.
Right.
And I
Ain't that
wanted
the
to
truth?
this, you know?
Right.
But that's something that, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier. Let me say this to you, as not as a supervisor. Remember at your retirement, the 5 Ps,
Yeah.
officiating too. Yeah, the 5 Ps of life, that goes with officiating too. Prior planning, pre-performance.
Nails.
You as an official do not prepare yourself for the game that you're getting ready to do. But
Wow.
somewhere down the road, you're going to screw it up. You
See there? That's what I'm talking about. But see, those are those little nuggets that you've always given me. And I didn't, what's Bobby, I'm telling you, I didn't go, oh, he don't know what he's talking about. Oh, I'm not listening to him. I took every single word you gave me and I applied it. because you were a successful referee. You just had knowledge, and I'm like, you know what? I want it. I'm taking it. I want to get to where you. I want to. How about this? I want to get to where you are, and I want to pass you. That was my
Oh,
goal.
yes. Yes. Every official's goal. You know, if you really enjoy officiating, you want to get to the cream of the, you want to be part of that cream. You want to be in that mix with all of them. You know, hey, okay, hey, mix me in there too.
There you go.
You want to be part of that. And the only way you're going to get into that pot, you're going to have to work your butt off. You're going to have to know the rules. You're going to have to be in condition. You're going to have to be a tremendous communicator, you know, because whatever you officials should know this. Whatever you call, you're going to be 50% wrong, 50%
50% right.
so
Wow.
make it all in the hell with it. Make the call. Make what you see. You know, like I used to be. You got on me about this. I used to be play monitors.
Yeah.
Always, I still mad at it. About you blow the whistle. You stop the play. 16,000 people are quiet now. To F up something. And here you come because you're not in position to make the right call. You screw it up. Now you got 16,000 people yelling at all three of us because
Mm-hmm.
of your strategy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're not. Prior planning prevents
You
in
hit it on
life,
the head.
in officiating, in whatever it is. You've got to plan ahead. I tell my grandkids that, but they don't listen. No,
You know what?
they,
They're listening. They'll get it. No, here's what happens. They hear you, but they don't want to tell you they hear you because as they get older and as experiences happen, all that comes back. It's going to eventually come back and they're going to say, you know what? That's what he was talking about. Or that's what he meant. It trust me, they you may not think it, no different than how, we were as young officials and listening to our again. We know, and it's so important and it's so valuable. But how about this? You're going to keep telling them, it ain't going to stop you.
no, no. And head bump a few times,
There you
then
go.
they'll learn.
There
Then
you
they'll
go.
learn. Well, I'm at the point now where I said, okay, I've told them, they'll learn. Let them go to school and learn. They'll learn.
No, we don't want that. I think they'll be
No.
okay. If they got, how about this? They got you behind them. They hear
Yeah,
you. They hear you.
I
You just
pray
got a
that they.
job. Well,
Yeah.
how about this, Bob? I'm so elated, and I just want to thank you for just spending the time with me. And we're gonna keep it going because I do want, because again, I just love your knowledge and just love talking with you. We're gonna put up a play. You and I are gonna look at it, and we just gonna have a good candid discussion about some basketball like we would if it was just you and I at a game watching. You know how I used to come sit with you when you were at Loyola or Pepperdine. We would sit and we talk about plays like. So we're gonna do that right here for everyone. All right, so we got this is a UNLV and Boise State here. Can you see it, Bob?
Hold on a second. Uh-oh.
Okay, perfect. All right, so this is a play where at first we're gonna have like a little drive, and the ball gets knocked out of her hand, but the coach, he's blocked out. He can't see that the ball gets knocked away, so he feels like this should be a travel for first of all. That's the first thing that happens. Or he wants something. He either thinks that's it's an illegal dribble or a double dribble or whatever, because he can't see that the defender hits the ball. So if we let it run, you'll see it. Here it goes. See there? See how it gets knocked out? So she can now dribble again because see how she said he's thinking she can't dribble, but she can. So that's the first thing. The crew does a good job. And there's my center official. See, their center official is actually letting him know that the ball was knocked away and it got hit. So she can dribble. He's
I have
trying
a
to
question.
communicate.
I have a question. Now, was the trailer?
No, she couldn't see he's blocked out to see whether or not that the if the ball got knocked away. He can't see it either.
Yes. No.
Only the
No.
center official can see this.
Yeah, the call came from the right official.
Correct. But the call from the trail was after the play on this blocking foul, though. As we let it run, you'll see. See the contact right there?
But see that defender
Hmm.
her.
She sure does. You are absolutely correct.
He
She
moved
takes
right
a
into
step
her.
forward. Correct. Yep. Now, mind you, here's what's interesting. If that defender would have just moved laterally over and beat that dribbler to the spot, then we could have
That's
had an
offense.
offensive foul.
That's an offensive foul. Yes.
But
Oh,
our trail official, the official right in front, you can see him right at the end of the, right after he makes the blocking call, you can see him. See him right there
I
make
see.
the block?
Yes, I see him.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that's correct.
Correct, correct. But see, the coach, here's what's interesting too. The coach, all he wants is he's mad because he feels like we missed the illegal dribble. But the center official is trying to show him with his hand gestures that the ball was hit. There's no violation on this play other than the blocking foul that we have right in front of the trail official.
But you know, the coach is not even looking across the court. He's on the trail officials behind.
Correct. Well, because they're always going to the official that obviously is right in front of them. But he's not even thinking that that official can't even see the illegal dribble because he's looking at backs.
Right. And she can't. That official trail cannot see this block that
Correct.
this lady knocked the ball away because he's blocked out as well.
Correct. That's why he doesn't have a whistle. Yeah. It's very good officiating, but obviously, we have good officiating and our coach still feels like that we possibly got the play incorrect and we did not. We
Yeah,
did.
but you know what? When he goes back and watches the film, he'll see.
He will, no question
Yes.
about it, which that's most of the time in all of our plays. And when looking at this, our crew did do this was good team officiating throughout both because at the beginning, the center official actually was trying to help with letting the trail know that the ball got hit. It was loose. We could have another dribble. And then the block play that happens right in front of the trail, we only need a whistle from the trail. He has a blocking foul. And then obviously after the play, he communicates with the coach to tell the coach that, hey, look, you know what? The ball got knocked away. We didn't have an illegal dribble, and this is a blocking foul, and the ball's going to go out of bounds to the point of interruption. We're fine.
Right.
All good. So, oh yeah, you're out of the screen, Bob. Come, yeah,
Oh,
just there you go. There you go. Move. There you go. You're back. You got excited looking at that play. Yeah, that's fair. You wanted to make sure that you knew what the hell we were talking about, huh? No, no, you could never ever be that. You could never be that. So, but you know what, Bob? Hey, you know what? It's been fun. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for the time. And you know what? I can let all my viewers know. I don't care what I have going on, when I have it going on. If I call you and say, Bobby, I need you, you are always there to support me, to come help me, to give me your words of wisdom. And you know what? It just says a lot. It says a lot for me personally. You know how much I love you. You have been a part of my career from the beginning. And you know what? Who knows without you giving me those opportunities when I was a young referee just starting out, if I would have gotten as far as I would have gotten, I don't know. But you know what? I had good people around me. I had protectors. I had mentors. I had veteran referees that were not afraid to give me my opportunities. I just thank you for that because you did something for me that you didn't have to do. You didn't. But you said, you know what? She's good. She's ready. And she deserves her opportunity. And, that was even during a time, Bobby, when, women were just starting to get a little momentum. We didn't have very many women in our organization.
not very, very few. I think Laverne.
Laverne Tanaris. Yes. How about that? Laverne. It was when I came in, she was a big time veteran. She was working the championships. She was solid, but she was, and again, another good mentor for me. Was always willing to help. Her and I worked a lot of games together. You put me with her a lot. She was always have good nuggets. But that was, our unit was very, very unique because we had good referees and referees that were very supportive, very
Right.
supportive.
Yeah. We had I told all of the instructors, and Eddie Kikuchi and I picked them, to pick the best referees.
Yes.
Because if you're the one of the best referees, that means you know what to do and what to teach.
Hmm.
And that's what we chose some of the best referees. There's a young man, Carlton Swanson.
Yes.
I tried to get him into college basketball, and he was honest. And he said, Mr. Mozee, I am satisfied with what I am. I'm
Wow.
very
But you know what? We need more referees like that, Bobby. It's okay. I even say it. I have referees that work high school to this day, and they come to my camp. They come to basics, and they'll tell me, they say, you know what, Violet? I don't want to get into college. I want to learn because I am happy to be a high school referee. And I commend those type of referees because on the high school level, like even for myself, I have my nephews that were playing high school, and I watch high school officiating, and it disgusts me because you have yes, but to hear a referee say, you know what, I just want to be the best high school referee I can be. It's very, very important because every level needs those type of referees.
without a doubt. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, Violet. Yes, yes. And I was impressed when he told me that because he was a referee.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Knew the rules, knew how to communicate with people, good people person. And
That says a lot. It says a lot. We need more of him on the high school level. That's for sure.
there's another guy, young man,
I remember Miguel. Same way. Yes.
he told me the same thing was basketball.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, I'll be.
But here's what's interesting. Isn't this funny how all the referees that you know that you've been around, and you've been around a lot, you could still remember the ones who said to you, you know what, Bobby? I'm okay about being a high school referee. This is exactly where I want to be, but I just want to be one of the best high school referees. And that's a beautiful thing. And it doesn't matter what level, I'm happy that you said that because we have, I'm sure, a lot of high school referees that are going to listen to this podcast and watch it. And those are
Uh-huh.
the things they need to hear because they are so valuable in
Oh,
today's officiating world.
yes, yes, yes. I went to some high 2 years ago. I think it was at Crenshaw. I
Huh?
had a headache when I left. I had
Yeah.
it was hard. No, no, they don't hustle, Violet. They don't get into the positions that they need to be. They just don't. I mean, why would you make a
Right. You're absolutely correct. You know what? But here's the difference. The difference is that with people like myself and you around, and we continue to mentor and talk to officials and talk to high school officials, that was the one reason why I decided that for my basic referee school, I needed a ground floor. I have a ground floor, meaning for those young officials that are still doing high school. So we can teach them be professional. Go out, like you said, work hard, work on your floor coverage, work on your rules, stay physically fit because the game and these kids deserve that from you. And it's the education. So for you and I, we have to continue to just educate and share our stories and be good mentors so that we can possibly, because we only have to change. We change one or two of them, it can make a difference. You never know.
yeah?
You never know. So, you know what? I just say to you, I enjoy talking with you. I enjoy sharing with you. And I just want to thank you. We've just had quite a few good nuggets for our officials and just allowing them to get to know you because have been such an important influence in my life of officiating, in my life as a friend, in my life as a mentor, in my life as a father figure. You kind of have all aspects when it comes to me. And I just want to say, I thank you. I thank you for taking the time to be with me, because you didn't have to, but you always are willing to be a part of anything that I do. And I just want to say to all my viewers, you know what? You're going to enjoy this segment. I love this man. He has a wealth of knowledge. And you know what? You're the best. And I say to everyone, Continue to be a mentor, continue to share your knowledge, continue to work on this craft. And you have to study and every single night go out and give the game 100% and let the chips fall where they may. So thank you. We love being with you. The play is the play, and peace out.